2 pounds of butter. Okay, and then you just pour that in there. Do an Alfredo sauce now. Now this Alfredo sauce is awesome. I might have mentioned before, I received this recipe from a good friend of mine. It was her grandmother's. Her grandmother was Sicilian, and it's such a simple recipe, but yet it's fantastic. So I've done a little bit of free chopping and a few things, but I wanted to show you. We just chopped our garlic. You need a bunch of garlic for this recipe, and we just chopped it, and we used this little, I call it a bug chopper. It's just a little wheel chopper. It's got little blades in there, and you put your garlic bulbs in there and then just spin it around, and it does a really good job. But I wanted to show you, because not everybody's gonna have one of those, and so I wanted to show you another way that you could do it. So usually if you just take your small bulb, again, like what we've talked about, I like to take that little tip off, and then you just get it like that and just do a quick squeeze till you hear it pop, and then that skin should just pull right off. Okay, so then you got it like that, and that's what you're looking for. So if you don't have something like that or a garlic press, you have the garlic press which you mash. Another way that I like to do it is you just take a bigger knife, a bigger butcher knife, and you can sit and chop it. Okay, or what you do is you just take it to the edge, put your hand on there, and smash it so it's flat. Just like that. You can smash it again if you want. The more you smash it, the more the smaller it'll be, and that's what you end up getting. I always like to use fresh garlic though, because most of the garlics, I do have some garlic that they put in olive oil. I don't mind that, but a lot of them put a little bit of a preservative in there, and it's more like a pickling flavor. So it tastes like pickled garlic, and I don't like that pickled flavor in my sauces. So this is how we're gonna start out with the Alfredo. The first thing you do, let's get our heat rolling. Okay, and we're gonna do one recipe of the Alfredo. Will be 1 cube of butter, a tablespoon of the garlic, a tablespoon of the pesto, 1 quart of whipping cream, 8 ounces of Parmesan cheese, and nutmeg and garlic salt to taste. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do now, we're going to be doubling this batch in each one of these pans, because again we're cooking a pasta dinner for the Skyview football team. They're all awesome. They're all studs, and I love cooking for them. And we do a team meal every Thursday, and I've loved it. So we're going to put 2 pounds of butter, and we got it on low, because the one thing you do not want to do is burn the lovely butter. There are some recipes you want to burn the butter just a little bit for flavor, but this isn't one of them. Okay, now you can do just per batch. You can do 2 cubes if you don't want this much butter. This recipe is very keto as well. There's no carbs at all in butter. There's no carbs at all in heavy whipping cream. And there is very little carbs in your Parmesan cheese, and it's like a 1 carb per third of a cup. So this right here is probably like 3 carbs. And so then that's pretty much everything that's in it. So if you wanted a really good keto style of sauce that you can put over, my wife loves to put it over broccoli slaw. You can do it over cauliflower slaw. You can do it over spaghetti squash, various things like that. We've had some big athletes like Mike McKnight that runs that guy's a runner, and he has me make sauce like this for him periodically, and he just drinks it just like some soup. But it's really good, and it'll be fantastic for a keto style of diet. And this one I'm probably going to just do 2 cubes per recipe, just to kind of weigh them out. All of these are going to go into one bin or one tray, serving tray. There we go. So we've got that in there. I'm going to dump a little of this one in that one. Okay. Next thing is our garlic. And again, you're going to want about 1 tablespoon per. So we've got 2 in that one. And 2 in that one. Okay. Then we want to go with the pesto. I've got one right here that's already opened. And we're going to do 1 heaping per. Okay. Just go flat on the bottom so you don't spill it. And all you're doing is you're not wanting to mash the stuff on the bottom, but you're just getting everything off of the bottom. And we're just kind of letting all those flavors marry in there, so they'll all start to take into that butter. Another really fun thing that I do like to do is do this exact thing. Bring this butter to just a simmer, and then take it and put it into a, you want to simmer it for about 5 minutes, but then take it and put it into a Tupperware container. And it's awesome on toast. You can just put it on, it's a garlic pesto butter for toast. It's fantastic. Okay, so now that we got that butter about all kind of melted, I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. We'll go over here and do the same here. Already starting to boil a little bit. You're going to want to get into that. Now, there is this butter. As the butter starts to get hotter and hotter, it'll separate, and you can see the white on the butter. That's the fat on the butter. And then they have a product called ghee or rendered butter. That rendered butter is basically the butter without that fat on it. So you can make your own rendering or ghee if you want to do that. And it's very healthy. Doesn't have the fat, but if you're keto, you love that fat in there. Okay. So you're going to get that to where it's starting to kind of boil somewhat all over. Then we get our Gosner's whipping cream. Big fan. Okay, and then you just pour that in there. And kind of like the marinara, this recipe will do about 10 to 12 people. And if you're gonna do both to a party or something like that, I mean, I can just tell you from experience that the Alfredo sauce will go probably about 2 to 1 for the marinara sauce. So I usually like to do a little bit extra of the Alfredo because I know it'll be the first to go. So now you got that cream in there. You'll see all that butter floating on the top. As that cream gets warm and starts to become the same temperature as that butter, it will actually get absorbed into that cream, so you're not going to have all that on the top. So you got that on a simmer. Just kind of let that simmer for a second. Now, a lot of people have asked me on this Alfredo sauce if you wanted a, say, a mushroom Alfredo, or you wanted a chicken Alfredo, or even a shrimp seafood Alfredo. You can still make the same sauce. And then what you do is you would take your shrimp, you could bake chicken in an Italian, which we'll do on another episode, but you can cook that chicken and then have it in the fridge. And then what you do is you cube it. You put it in a frying pan with a little bit of butter, and then you heat it up, and then you just pour a cup of this Alfredo sauce on it, and then stir it in, and it'll be very good. The only difference is when I do a pure chicken Alfredo, usually I'll use a little bit of chicken stock, but again, you have to thicken that because you're loosening it up. So you can use this for just about anything. You can put it on mac and cheese. I mean, there's so many factors you can do with this. It's a great recipe. It's very easy to make, and it's very versatile. So you can see we're boiling pretty decent now, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn that off, get a quick stir in there at the bottom, and then let's go back to this one, and you'll see this one is about the right consistency. We stir it to kind of get everything. You'll see it, the froth and everything, the cheese, everything's starting to collect. Just scrape all that off the side. And just stir it in. Okay, so at this particular point, you're ready to eat it. For me, we're gonna taste it first, and we're gonna make sure. We make sure we don't need any salt or anything in it. Again, you're using a dip spoon. You can also use a spatula if you want to, but then you just put a little bit on here. It's good. So we're gonna dump this into a tin. We're gonna put it in the oven on 150 with the marinara, and then I'm gonna make the other two, and then we'll be done. So if you have any questions, go ahead and send in to my Instagram, Butterdude70. You can DM me or jump on the blog, jump on our website, whatever you want to do. And if you have any questions or any concerns about the recipe, or you want to know how to cook something else, by all means, hop on and let us know, and we'll get it made for you. Thanks.